guess you heard that old familiar music, which means it's time for the Two Old Bucks. And this is Two Old Bucks. This is
Buckdale?
No, this is Old Buckdale. But you could say I'm too old. Two Old Bucks, yeah. Old Buckdale.
I'm the other one.
Yeah.
I'm the other one. AKA Dave.
AKA Dave. Hey, listen, something occurred to me. The old Bucks are always coming up with big ideas and
a lot of big ideas.
And clearly we think off the grid most of the time. And one of the things that struck me was, do you ever use the term safekeeping? Have you ever put something somewhere for safekeeping?
I have, unfortunately.
So what does that mean? I mean, what does safekeeping mean? What is it?
It means you want to keep it in a very secure place so that you always know where it is and it'll always be there, and
no one can disturb it.
Accessed by you only.
That's like where
is that a good definition?
Yeah, that's good. That's what you do with your little scale model of your Spitfire or P-51 Mustang. You put it in a safe place so your mother wouldn't find it. So
or anything you put under the mattress back in the day.
Some things end up there, but clearly it meant that for many, many years to put something there for safekeeping.
And when you say that implies that it doesn't mean that any longer? Or what?
Any longer, I've discovered to put something somewhere for safekeeping means that it's lost forever.
It's lost forever.
Because, my mind says, I know I put this someplace safe. I know I put it somewhere where I can get it quickly. I know I'll be able to find it when I need it. And in reality, I no longer can.
You can't do it.
I can't do it anymore.
It's safe from you even.
It's safe. It's now safe until you discover it when you're cleaning house or something, or you actually went out and got another device, the same thing you were looking for. You had to go buy one.
You had to go buy one.
Yeah, you put all those little AAA batteries someplace safe so you can always have them, and then you.
Yep.
So just let you know when you get into old buck territory that safekeeping
take lots of notes
does not mean that you're ever going to find it again. How about that same with passwords? Passwords and usernames. I'll just put it in this book for safekeeping.
Good luck there, yeah.
And then you got to find the book.
My wife writes them all in a little black book.
Yeah, and don't ever lose that. Keep that book someplace for safekeeping.
But if she changes them, sometimes she doesn't write the new one in.
I think all the old bucks out there and vixens can relate to that. I think that's what time does to you. So,
well, here's a sad story. We have a safe, all right, and we forgot how to open it. That's where we had all the stuff for safe, all the important documents, the wills.
It's even named safe.
It's a big heavy thing.
And it's got a name on it that says safe.
Yeah.
So the name implies that if you put it in there, you should still find it when you go back there. Or you open it up after numerous tries and discover you did not put it in there.
Yeah.
That's not where you put it.
It's not there.
Anyhow, that's my theory on safekeeping. It occurred to me the other day. So
that's like your rant for the day.
Yeah, my rant for the day.
Okay.
Hey, I have another idea. Another question for you. The other day, I was listening to something, and it had to do with Hollywood. And I found this totally amusing. Okay. Hollywood to you, Hollywood is a place, right?
Hollywood is a place.
It's a physical dwelling place. It's a town, I think, isn't it? It's an actual town. Hollywood, California.
Well, it's the name of the area where the movie industry is in California.
But people live there.
People live there.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's a physical area on a map. And enclosed in that area happens to be an industry.
It's within L.A. Yeah, it's a part of L.A.
So if they were making airplanes there, it would be called Boeing, let's say, right? So they named this. They didn't name the place because Hollywood doesn't sound like it has anything to do with the movies. We just now know that it does.
Yeah.
Right. So I was listening to something the other day, and someone came up with. They said, Nollywood. And I said, it didn't ring a bell at all. And then I said to myself, well, there's a Dollywood, and that's nothing to do with the film industry, but it implies a certain entertainment.
There's a link, yeah.
Right, there's a link. So this term wood, if you tack wood, it's like, this program is coming to you from Buckywood.
Buckywood.
From Buckywood, which is implying it's entertainment, right?
We're ahead of the podcast industry at this desk, I guess.
That's right. So we are. If it's made in Buckywood, you know that it has to do with entertainment. So I'm thinking this word wood, you can tack it onto a lot of things.
Give me an example.
So there's, like I said, we know there's Hollywood, we know there's Bollywood.
Right. That's the Indian.
Apparently, there is also a Lollywood that's associated with that portion of the world. There is, there's something called Chinawood. Chinawood. And guess what it is? It's the film industry of China.
In China.
It is. And yet, do you know what Yellowwood is?
Yellowwood. That's the film industry of Mars? I don't know. No, Mars is right.
No, this is the caveat. Yellowwood is actually a treated lumber.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't imply. So there's the trick there.
So there's
the term wood. So I'm thinking if we're producing this in Buckywood, everybody will know that this is an entertainment a segment of our podcast. But think of all the woods. And you looked that up. Didn't you say you looked up some other woods?
I did. I actually, like Jollywood.
Jollywood
is a film industry in Assam. There's a Sollywood. There's a Dollywood. A Gollywood. A Hillywood. That's Rwanda. Gee, it just goes on.
So you see, everybody chose this wood thing.
They're
you know
all
what I mean?
leveraging off the name.
Yeah, they're all leveraging off that same name. And I think you have to have an LY after enter your first word. The first part of the word has to have an LY on it or something.
Looks like it.
Yeah, I'm thinking, holy smokes, it's become a word that implies something totally different. So whatever country you're in, you can just come up with your own first name and add the word wood to it. Technically, the world is supposed to understand that it's a film or an entertainment thing. So all you folks are listening to Buckywood. This is
Buckywood. There it is.
I found that amusing. I'm sure most people will not, but
they
can Google that themselves and see if they find it amusing. So
okay. Right.
That's enough wood stories.
That's enough from the Melatonin brothers here. I got a letter from afar here.
Oh, really?
You want to hear it?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Let me click on this thing here. All right.
Go ahead.
This is Two Old Bucks, and the title of this is the Nobel Award.
The Noble,
not Nobel. The Nobel Award for Ideology. Sounds pretty impressive. It's called the Copenhagen Radical Artists Program. Okay. It says it has nominated your podcast for big ideas so big that no one can understand them, and even basic logic and science cannot debunk them. The committee, I'm not making this up.
Hey, I'm telling you,
right
somebody can see us for what we are, right?
The committee is prepared to send you an 8.5 by 11 framed award for achieving a level of obfuscation never before seen outside of the political spectrum. Oh, here we go. Send $19.95 plus $7.99 for shipping and handling to this address, and in a week to 10 days or so, your award might arrive.
Aha.
Display it proudly. Sincerely, the committee. P.S. The card tricks are amazing. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I think we ought to buy this, Dave, because clearly this group is a very astute organization. Very astute organization, and they chose us for the Ideology Award. So
the Ideology Award.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to Google them and see where they're located or something. But I'll send them. Go ahead and send them. Let's get the framed.
Why does every letter have the same PS on it here? The card tricks are amazing.
I don't know, but they are pretty amazing, and they've never been debunked. You know what I mean? No one's been able to duplicate them in the real world. So.
Okay.
Anyhow, thanks to our friends at Copenhagen Radical Arts Program.
I guess if any of you listeners out there have somebody that you want to nominate for the Copenhagen Radical Arts Program. Send it in, BUCKSTWOOLD@gmail.com. Plus, make sure you send the money with it.
Yeah. I don't know. I sometimes wonder who writes these things. So anyhow, moving right along.
I actually have an idea for a candidate. I know you were talking about a crypto coin idea.
I was. Sorry. And you know what prompted that? Are you ready? You ready for
Tell me about it. Tell me about your crypto coin idea, because I got some crypto coin ideas as well. But I'm sure yours are more bizarre.
It's obviously an early. It's like a 5 o'clock Sunday morning. I think that's when most of these ideas. You're sitting quietly with coffee, and these things just pop into your brain. I'm sure it happens to everybody. But it's called a Bitcoin. I said, I wonder where they came out. With that. And I said, well, I wonder if there's room for another it coin.
Another it coin, okay.
So what I did was I took the alphabet and I listed all the letters of the alphabet vertically, and I put IT behind each one. So AIT, BIT.
No, BIT's taken now.
I know, but AIT, BIT, CIT, and went all the way down through the alphabet. And the last one, of course, is ZIT.
That's the one for teenagers.
Zitcoin, yeah.
Okay.
Zitcoin. So I looked at all those and I said, man, there's a lot of its out there that are still available to be used. So I was trying to pronounce some of them, and we could have a Fitcoin, we could have a Gitcoin, spelled correctly, Git. G-I-T.
That would be like West Virginia version.
Jitcoin, Kitcoin, Litcoin, Mitcoins. Nitcoins, Pitcoins, Ritcoins, Sitcoins, Vitcoins, Witcoins. So we have a whole gamut of its that we could tack onto. But the secret, I think, would be how we develop the coinage.
How we develop the coinage.
Right. I thought perhaps that we could collect money from people, a certain amount of money, and issue them a piece of paper, a nice piece of paper, maybe about the size of a dollar bill. That said, you now have a Witcoin, and you can trade this Witcoin with other people that believe it has value, and then we could have them send that money to a bank in the Cayman Islands, and we would hold that.
Would be our account number.
To our account number, and we would hold on to that currency, and they would walk around with this piece of paper that we would
feeling pretty good about themselves.
Feeling pretty good about the fact that it was worth. Like you'd have to have a couple of them, I guess, to equal $1. Maybe a $1 would only buy you 1/10 of a Bitcoin, or a Zitcoin, or a Witcoin. And then
how about a Buckcoin? Could it be a Buckcoin?
No, that's too long of a word. We want to use the it. That was my thoughts. The it portion. So we'd have that, and then
what about Ethereum?
We would hold that. That's a different kind of thing. Now you could buy Ethereum. You can buy Ethereum with our Witcoins or Nitcoins or Kitcoins, because you would have that paper, and anybody that would be willing to take that paper for some Ethereum, then you'd be good to go. So I don't know if we're going to get any off the ground with this, because we'd be holding a lot of other people's funds.
But there's potential there, though, for sure, though, because I was doing some research on cryptocurrencies again the other day. Of course, we did a segment on that a while back, and NFTs. We talked about NFTs as well. But there are over 2,000 of these cryptocurrencies that exist right now. That's almost as many as there are podcasts.
Well, we have room for the Kitcoin or Nitcoin, but I guess people have to remember this this program is produced in Buckywood, so
He's producing
take
Buckywood.
it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
anyhow,
yeah.
what's your idea?
Okay. Well, my idea is the cryptocurrency. This is my own thinking here. It has two requirements.
Two requirements.
Number one, there has to be a demand for it.
Right.
People have to agree that it has a certain value.
Okay.
Like you agree that a dollar bill is worth $1, or
There's nothing backing that up, anyhow, right?
well. And the other thing is you have to have a reliable ledger. Okay, you have to have
to keep track.
a scheme of
See, I
accounting.
didn't take that into consideration.
To keep track of all transactions. All right. Now
Mm-hmm.
we can work that into the Caymans, but I got an idea for that. Now the problem with Bitcoin, is you have to do this Bitcoin mining to validate the blockchain.
Oh,
All right. And as we talked about, that takes a massive amount of
energy. Yeah.
It consumes right now the crypto Bitcoin, not just Bitcoining, but the crypto mining business consumes as much energy as Switzerland.
Oh, my soul.
Yeah. So here's what I would propose for our coin. Number one, to create the demand for it,
Mm-hmm.
we would promote it on TV like drugs. Okay. So it's like, talk about it, whatever we're going to call it, and say,
Right, and we'll show you how the benefits of it, and
tell
then,
your doctor,
and then tell your financial expert.
tell your
tell
your money manager,
right,
tell your banker that you want to buy.
I need this coin.
I need this coin. Okay. So I think that would take care of the demand. If enough people wanted it, then it's got to be worth something.
Right.
And it would be trading.
That's what they do with the drug things.
Yeah.
Anyhow, they just tell you have the illness and go
Now
get
I
it.
got the ledger figured out as well, okay? And we don't have to do any mining. We don't have to consume massive amounts of energy. There will be some hot air involved, but my suggestion is we use members of Congress to post transactions on a ledger in the Capitol building, all right?
Give them something to do.
Number one, gives them something to do, all right? Number two, it makes them too busy to fight with each other because they're going to be scrambling
That's a
around
plus for the
posting all these
economy right
ledgers,
there.
so they're not fighting with each other. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing for the rest of us. There's no one-sided legislation that gets bulled through when one house or one party or the other has a majority.
Right. Okay.
All right, so that's all good for us. And then you think maybe the state, local governments will think, oh, look at this. They'll start their own state currencies and local cryptocurrencies. All the governments are going to be spending all their time keeping the ledgers, and just think how much better it'll be for the rest of us.
Yeah, there's 500 people up there in Congress right now that if they could just keep track of our transactions, it would give them something to do.
That's my idea anyway. That's my big idea to tack on to your
picking a name for another coin design.
The buck coin or the bucket coin.
I looked at all those and I said to myself, they really, since they only used one, there's a whole bunch of other ones that people could come up with, and I suspect someday that somebody will. I don't know if we should claim one. Which one could we claim? I think maybe Witcoin.
Witcoin, because we're witty guys.
Witcoin could be ours, since this program is produced in Buckywood.
Buckywood, yeah. Or we could use the IUM endings like Ethereum. We could like Napium, like take it.
Napium. I buy a lot of Napium.
Constipation.
That's actually a good. I like that.
You like that one?
I'll bet you 6 Witcoins that before the end of this year, there comes out something that says, if you need to sleep during the day, take one of these Napians. It only lets you sleep.
Third on the box.
Right? It only lets you sleep for 1 hour in the afternoon around 2:00. You take a Napian, and they'll say, but you can get an extra jar for $19.95
plus $7.99 handling.
Right?
And that goes
nappy him.
that goes to the Bucks account in the
Yeah.
Kansas, right? Okay.
We'll have to that one. I have a feeling that's going to turn up.
I
out there
think
somewhere.
if we think about this, I mean, we've thought about this a whole 5 minutes now.
Yeah.
And if we actually put some brain power into this thing, this could go. This could be the next big thing.
It could be the next
Big
thing.
idea.
You know how long those stays in our mind. So pretty much after we say goodbye, that's the last time I can remember what we were talking about.
We watch once CBS gets a hold of this one. Steamroller us, like always.
Anyhow, we know in our heart we came up with it. So
I got a question for you.
go ahead.
Who doesn't love traffic?
Hey, I've given that some thought.
I thought you might have.
I've given that some thought. Who really doesn't love traffic? I was thinking, it would be cool to come up with some kind of a solution. What is a normal solution for traffic problems? What would you say the normal?
Well, you do a study, you put in traffic lights, you put in lanes, you
increase the number of lanes.
increase the number of lanes.
Right. Do a diverging diamond.
Diverging diamonds.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
Which works, but
Actually works.
It's just you need to be a little bit cautious about how you learn
Don't
how
ride
to
your
use
bike
it.
through a diverging
Yeah.
diamond. I'll tell you that. I'm kind
light
of thinking
rail.
that maybe you have your own idea.
I have an idea, but those are normal
Those
things,
are
right?
the things. Those are the things
normal
that I
things.
would have said. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
all
I
traffic
mean,
engineers would do.
I often thought that there's places where they actually should have something like a blimp going back and forth to within a few miles, say from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia or something. Some kind of a little commute. Well, they do have commuter flights, don't have it? Something that just jumps back and forth like a taxi. But I have another idea. I said, what if people put on their car a something similar to the pizza delivery guy? He's got something like a pizza delivery guy. Has that thing, it says Pizza Hut or something on sticks on a roof.
Mm-hmm.
What if you could put on your car your actual intentions of how you wanted to drive? What if you put on your car and you had a set of symbols, like the flags on a boat, and said, I'm going to breakfast or an early supper. Supper starts at 3 o'clock is when you get the best deal on supper. So you put this on your car, and that qualifies you to go 35 mile an hour, 65 miles out. So you would be able to read by the symbols on top of the car. Like one guy, he would put a checkered flag on his car because he's in a hurry. He's going to drive like a race car driver, and he's already expressing his intentions from the get-go. So as you go out and looked around, you'd say, well, look, all these people with the green, maybe they have a green flag on their car. They're just driving around, looking for a good deal on shopping. They're out shopping. So drivers would identify their intention of how they want to drive, and then you could avoid them. You see, if you got on an interstate where everybody was doing 80 to 85 mile an hour, and you clearly had no intention of driving that fast, and I saw your symbol on your car that said, we're going to visit the grandkids or something that had represented that, I would stay away from you. If I came up behind you and clearly you're driving this way because that's your intention. You see?
I see.
Don't you see it would work? If you could put on your car how you intended to drive or what you were doing, then everybody around you would know how to cope with you. Right now, it's this way the traffic would flow. Say all the people who are going to early supper, and they could all be in the right lane, and all the people with checkered flags on their car who are racing could be in the left lane. And if you found somebody who was in the left lane and didn't have a checkered flag on, you could toot your horn at them, and they could go back to the right lane where the people who are going out to dinner,
Now, what if somebody was in the left lane with a checkered flag, but they had to pull over to go to the rest area? Now, do you have to change your flag or?
I'm thinking then they would just have to inside the little the little device on the car. Flags wouldn't last too long, so you'd have to have a little device. You'd have to change your signal to green, and then you could move over to the other car. You know, turn your turn signal on, and flip your driving intentions to slow, and then you could move over to the right lane. And then everybody would be totally clear of why people were driving the way they were driving, because these folks are, you know, taking kids to school, you know, lots of stops. You can avoid those guys.
You know what I think?
You think this like a Buckywood idea here?
I think there's that. Remember that old song, "Too Much Time on My Hands"? I'm getting a little worried here.
Yeah, well, you know,
You've been taking some Napium.
all I know is that if you like traffic, then you know you got to figure out a way to cope with it. So,
Hey, Dale.
yes,
Last episode, you gave us. We ended with a teaser. You talked about a guy's name,
Henry Kloss.
Henry Kloss. You challenged us all to Google it. I did. I thought it was a bicycle frame, but it wasn't, as it turns out. And apparently, our Vintage Vixen #1 was the first one to get back to us.
VV1, bless her heart.
VV1, yeah. First I'll just mention what she said here, if I may. All right, so this is a letter from Vintage Vixen #1, Judith. And she says, fascinating story. Sounds like it's better than more expensive radios. Okay, so there she gives away what this is.
What it is, yeah.
So yeah, we're going to talk about that. But this is when she throws a little bit of salt into the wound here. She said, for your information, the backup camera on my 4-year-old Toyota Corolla is still working great. Even at night, image looks like daylight. VV #1. That's great.
There you go.
So she is on the ball.
Thank you, VV1 for sending that in. So anyhow, talking about that, I mean, I throw a teaser out there. Let me tell you the background on this story.
Yeah.
My wife one day came home, and she said, "I've got something for you," and she handed me this heavy little box and said one of the folks that she worked with said I might like this. So I picked it up. Obviously, I said, "Oh, it looks like a radio," but I was amazed how heavy it was. And then I set it aside for a few days, and then I said, "I want to hook this thing up, see if it works." Well, it works marvelously. I mean, it's actually a very, very nice desktop radio. And what I like most about it, and it's good sound quality on a little speaker, but the tuner is excellent. So you can dial in a lot of, fine tune the stations. And more importantly, it takes up very little space, and you can be listening to something. And you know how all these extra side speakers and all this other stuff. Put a set of earphones on, you can have it real close to your bed, to your office. So I said, "How about that?" So then I myself Googled it, and it turns out it got some pretty good rating. It's a nice, it's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
Yeah.
Well, it was cheap for you because it was a gift, right?
Well,
you did.
I never would have thought of buying one like that. I mean, who'd have thought of spending close to $200 on a little radio that's only 10 inches by 8.5 by 9 or something.
Nice. When I saw that picture of it in Google there, this is Model 1 now.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of reminded me of a Zenith radio that my parents bought for me as a gift back in the 60s. Way back here now. Now, if you may or may not recall, but that was the time when people were going to printed circuit boards.
It still had tubes in it.
Well, it had tubes, but it had hand-wired circuitry. They were all copper wires, connecting everything that were hand brazed to each other. And that was their pitch, is like, we don't use printed circuit boards in our Zenith radios. that was pretty cool. So clearly they lost that battle because
there's no way this radio
No.
could contain any kind of a hand, wired circuit board. But like I said, I was impressed with the smallness of it and the volume or the sound of it. And I listen to it all the time. I mean, it's my little secret radio. When I'm, of course, I write to you at 5:30 in the morning. That's what.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I said this phone's going to beep, and he's going to say, "That son of a gun! Look at the time. Why is he doing that?"
Now, if you could listen to podcasts on it, it would be the perfect radio, right?
Well, that's true. It doesn't. I don't think
It's
it does
not.
that.
No,
but it does get BBC. I mean, I listen to the BBC.
Oh,
all the
okay.
time, yeah.
Nice,
And I'm interested in what's going on in certain parts of the world, so I listen to the BBC. The Beeb, as we say.
Is that what we say?
Yeah, that's what we call it. Listen to the Beeb.
Okay.
So anyhow, that's good.
So that's just a little bit of a little plug for Henry Kloss.
Yeah.
He stopped making bicycle frames and he went to radios apparently.
Everything to use a bicycle frame.
It could be.
Is that a bicycle frame? New bicycle frame. Hey, I like the other comments you made about the cameras too. That's interesting. So I know we have hope, Dave. We have hope.
There's hope.
That if they can make one for a 4-year-old car, they should surely be able to put a good one in one, later model that we're driving.
A new car, yeah.
Yeah, so.
That's amazing.
Well, thank you, Judith.
No, there was something else I wanted to say about that. No, you triggered something. Let me think there. I'm going to look at her email.
On the tip of your tongue?
Right there. God.
Hey, Dave, did you ever have something was just on the tip of your tongue? You remember that saying?
On the tip of your tongue.
You remember that saying? I got it on the tip of my tongue. It always implied that it was there, but you couldn't see it, or you couldn't pull it off, or couldn't get it. You notice how the older we get, the less, the more things are on the tip of our tongue that we cannot
on the tip
find.
of the tongue.
Yeah.
Our tongue must be huge.
Yeah. Say, you know what? And I was like the other day, we were struggling for a word. What's our favorite word? Remember that our favorite word that we can never come up with. You and I struggle with this word every time we want to express ourselves with this word.
The fake prototype, not prototype.
Oh no! It's the
placebo.
It's the placebo. Yeah.
The dreaded placebo.
That just will escapes our mind no matter how hard we try to remember that. But that's another saying that the old folks, I think, can understand. It's on the tip of my tongue. I put it in a safe place.
Let's put it for safekeeping.
Okay, so then you would say we've commiserated enough for this evening?
I would say that we have commiserated enough for this evening or this morning or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever time we do this. This is old Buck Dell saying thank you for listening.
This is old Buck Dave saying the same thing. We'll see
you next time.
See you all next time, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.